Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranams to all the devotees. Thank you all for joining in for our study session. We'll start with the prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Udapadakamelam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sujeevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnupadhaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Dushe Namaha Panchadattvaatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tarale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yakrapatamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanyameshwaram Hari Om Tat Sat Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna. So Dandavat pranams to all the devotees. Thank you all for joining in for our TLC and Bhagavad Gita study today. So quickly, we were talking about in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, we were talking about who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, and who is Srimati Radharani. Right? Srimati Radharani is a pleasure potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She is the Ladini Shakti of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are Tatastha Shakti of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. Maya Devi is the Bahiranga or the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. So as energies of the Lord, it is our duty to serve the Lord. Just like Maya Devi is performing her duty very nicely. Although it's a thankless task, right? Everybody is thinking Maya is putting me into illusion. But what is Maya Devi doing? Maya Devi is doing a service to her Lord Krishna, right? By putting us into test. And by that way, we are able to cross over the three modes of material nature, provided we use our free will properly and serve Lord Sri Krishna. And then we also see Srimati Radharani, right? With the Srimati Radharani Gopis, they are also willing to give their own dust of their lotus feet to Krishna to just cure Krishna of a momentary headache, right? 1 minute headache also, if Krishna is relieved of one second headache, and for that, if we have to give our dust and then we have to go to the hell and suffer for millions of lifetimes, Srimati Radharani is okay to do that. That is her power, or that is her extent of unmotivated, uninterrupted service unto Lord Sri Krishna. So we are Tatastha Shakti. Like sometimes we are inclined towards spiritual energy, sometimes we are inclined towards sense gratification. But the more we exercise our free will towards serving Guru and Gauranga, to that extent we will be always under the protection of the Ladini Shakti of the Lord, which is the internal pleasure potency of the Lord. The more we are under the shelter of Ladini potency, the more we will be able to exercise our free will properly and always eternally engage in the service of Guru and Gauranga. Right? So now Prabhupada is going to explain. We always call Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan, Sita Ram. Right? Always the energy comes first and the energetic comes after. Right? Why is that? But Shiv Parvati is not like that. Why? Because Shiva and Parvati, they are both energies of Krishna. They are serving. So it's not that Parvati is independently serving Shivji. That's why Shiv Parvati. Whereas when we address Vishnu, like for example, Lakshmi Narayan or Sita Ram or Radha Krishna, then the energy is addressed first. But for Shiv Parvati, both Shiva and Parvati are best servants of Lord Vishnu, of Lord Krishna. Right? Parvati is Maya Devi. She is engaged in the service of Lord Sri Krishna. Shiva is Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. Right? Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava. Right? So in this way, that is why wherever the Lord's name is taken, the Lord's name is always preceded by the energy of the Lord. The energy of the Lord is, it belongs to the Lord and serves the Lord like that. Okay? So let's continue reading this part. Okay, devotees who want to read can raise your hands and then you can start reading. Okay, Leela Nandini Mataji, go ahead. It is not that Radharani.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
It is not that Radharani is separate from Krishna. Radharani is also Krishna, for there is no difference between the energy and the energetic. Without energy, there is no meaning to the energetic, and without the energetic, there is no energy. Similarly, without Radha, there is no meaning to Krishna, and without Krishna, there is no meaning to Radha. Because of this, the Vaishnava philosophy first of all pays obeisances to worships and worships the internal pleasure potency of the Supreme Lord. Thus, the Lord and his potency are always referred to as Radha Krishna. Similarly, those who worship Narayana first of all utter the name of Lakshmi as Lakshmi Narayana. Similarly, those who worship Lord Rama first of all utter the name of Sita. In any case, Sita Rama, Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayana, the potency always comes first. Radha and Krishna are one, and when Krishna desires to enjoy pleasure, he manifests himself as Radharani. The spiritual exchange of love between Radha and Krishna is the actual display of Krishna's internal pleasure potency. Although we speak of when Krishna desires, just when he did desire, we cannot say. We only speak in this way because in conditioned life, we take it that everything has a beginning. However, in spiritual life, everything is absolute, and so there is neither beginning nor end. Yet, in order to understand that Radha and Krishna are one and that they also become divided, the question when automatically comes to mind. When Krishna desired to enjoy his pleasure potency, he manifested himself in the separate form of Radharani. And when he wanted to understand himself through the agency of Radha, he united with Radharani, and that unification is called Lord Chaitanya. This is all explained by Srila Krishnadasa Kaviraja in the first verses of Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Fifth verse. Fifth verse. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Fifth verse. So, Sri Radha Krishna Pranay Vikritir Ladini Shakti Rasmad Ekatmana Apibhuvi Pura Deha Vedam Gatauto. Right? That same Krishna who expanded himself into Srimati Radharani. Now Ekatmanam. Now again Krishna and Radharani have come together in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ekatmanam Abhibhuvi Deha Vedam Gatauto. Chaitanyakyam Pragamaduna. Right? They have manifested in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanyakyam Prakatam Tadvayam Chekyam Aptam Radha Bhava Duti Suvalitam. And this Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has not only combined with Radharani, Radha and Krishna combined form, but has also taken the mood and the complexion of Srimati Radharani. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Radha Bhava Duti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. So the same Lord Krishna, he appears in his Swarupa, but he is taking the mood and complexion of Srimati Radharani. And this is what is explained by Chaitanya in Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj. right? And the next verse, Chaitanya Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj is going to talk about the glory of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's incarnation, right? So let's read that. In the next verse, okay, Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji, go ahead.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
In the next verse, the author further explains why Krishna assumed the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Krishna desired to know the glory of Radha's love. Why is she so much in love with me? Krishna asked, what is my special qualification that attracts her so? And what is the actual way in which she loves me? It seems strange that Krishna, as the Supreme, should be attracted by anyone's love. A man searches after the love of woman because he is imperfect. He lacks something, the love of woman. Love of a woman, the potency and pleasure is absent in man, and therefore a man wants a woman. But this is not the case of Krishna, who is full. He is full in himself. Thus, Krishna expressed surprise. Why am I attracted by Radharani? And then Radharani feels my love. What is she actually feeling? To test the essence of that loving exchange, Krishna made his appearance in the same way that the moon appears on the horizon of the sea. Just as the moon was produced by the turning of the sea, by the turning of the spiritual loving affairs, the moon of Chaitanya. The moon of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. Indeed, Lord Chaitanya's complexion was golden, just like the luster of the moon. Although this is figurative language, it conveys the meaning behind the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The full significance of his appearance will be explained in later chapters. After offering Hare Krishna Mataji.
So now Chaitanya, now Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj, now we'll go on to the next verse, 7th verse onwards, talking about Nityananda Prabhu. So this is the last verse which actually talks about the three internal reasons which we already discussed, right? We should understand that as jivas, we are parts and parcels of the Lord. So when we are reading all of this, we should understand Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we are supposed to do not imitation of the Lord, but to follow Lord's instructions, right? Anarpita charim chirat karunayavatirna kalau samarpaitu mannato jularasam subhakti shriyam. Right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared in this world for actually ujjwala. That means to bring out the dormant potency of love that we have in our heart. Right? We have the dormant love for all the love. We have the dormant love for Krishna. Whereas because we've invested our love in all the wrong things. That is why we are suffering in this world, right? So, but we have to invest our energy and our love unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, right? In the second verse, yesterday we saw that Vande Guru Isha Bhaktan, Isham Ishavatarakan, Tat Prakasham Satat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Samyakam, wherein Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj is actually paying obeisances to the Pancha Tattva, and who are represented by Isham, Ishavatara, then Bhaktakyam, then Bhakta Shakti, and Vande Guru Isha Bhaktan, Isham Ishavatarakan, Tat Prakasham, that is Nityananda Prabhu. So in this way, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj is offering obeisances to the Pancha Tattva, right? Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito, Gaudodeye Pushpavantau, Chitrau Shandau Tamonudau. That means in Navadvip Dham, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu are appearing like moon. Right, in this way that is described here, right? Chitrau Shandau Tamonudau. They are appearing like the sun and the moon in the Gauda Desha, right? So in this way, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance and Nityananda Prabhu's appearance, right? Now, okay. So it conveys the meaning behind the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? How does it convey the meaning of the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan Isham Ishavatarakan Tat Prakasham Satat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Samyakam. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Vande means I am offering my respectful obeisances. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya. I am offering my obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito. Gaudodaye. Gauda means it refers to Gauda Desh. right? Gaudodeye pushpavantau chitro shando tamonudau. That means they are appearing like the sun and the moon. And tamonudau, that means they are taking away the entire tamasic nature of this world, right? Because we are all surrounded. Kali Yuga is said to be an age of darkness, complete age of darkness, because there is no transcendental knowledge, right? So they are appearing as moon, so as to remove this darkness. And in this way, what are they trying to do? They are trying to illuminate the entire world by their presence. Right? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, it was actually it was a no moon day, right? That it was a complete lunar eclipse day, right? And that's why all the brahmanas at that time, they went to the Ganges and they were taking bath, because it's not auspicious at that time. You know, the lunar eclipse is taking place. Moon cannot be seen. In that time, when everybody was in the Ganges and they were taking bath and they were shouting Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, like that. When they were doing their prayers, at that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu incarnated like a moon, right? To give Krishna prema, to remove the tamoguna that is prevalent in this world, like that. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, after offering respects to Lord Chaitanya, okay, Rohini Mataji, go ahead.
After offering respects to Lord Chaitanya, Krishnadasa Kaviraja begins offering them to Lord Nityananda in the 7th verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita. The author explains that Lord Nityananda is Balaram, who is the origin of Mahavishnu. Krishna's first expansion is Balarama, a portion of whom is manifested as Sankarshana, who then expands as Pradyumna. In this way, so many expansions take place. Although there are many expansions, Lord Shri Krishna is the origin as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. He is like the original candle from which many thousands and millions of candles are lit. Although any number of candles can be lit, the original candle still retains its identity as the origin. In this way, Krishna expands himself into so many forms, and all these expansions are called Vishnu Tattva. Vishnu is a large light and we are small lights, but all are expansions of Krishna. When it is necessary to create the material universes, Vishnu expands himself as Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu lies down in the causal ocean and breathes all the universes from his nostrils. Thus, from Mahavishnu and the causal ocean spring all the universes, and all these universes, including ours, float in the causal ocean. In this regard, there is the story of Vamana, who, when he took 3 steps, stuck his foot through the covering of this universe. Water from the causal ocean flowed through the hole that his foot made, and it is said that that water became the river Ganges. Therefore, the Ganges is accepted as the most sacred water of Vishnu and is worshipped by all Hindus from the Himalayas down to the Bay of Bengal. Mahavishnu is actually an expansion of Balarama, who is Krishna's first expansion, and in the Vrindavana pastimes, his brother. In the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, the word Rama refers to Balarama. Since Lord Nityananda is Balarama, Rama also refers to Lord Nityananda. Thus, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama addresses not only Krishna and Balarama, but Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda as well. The subject matter.
Okay, so here, like you were asking, right? Who asked? Rohini Mataji asked, right? Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan. Actually, here, the same thing is what is explained by Prabhupada also. Vande Gurun. That means we discussed this in detail in the previous session. Actually, I think day before yesterday or yesterday's session. So Gurun means refers to plural. That means it's not just one guru we are talking about, right? Guru means plural gurus. We have our Siksha gurus. First and foremost, we are offering our obeisances to gurus. Mande Gurun, and then Isha Bhaktan. Isha refers to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and who is a devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Isha Bhaktan, refers to Srivas Thakur, who is Narada Muni, who is giving the Bhakti Shakti to everybody. So that is Srivas Thakur. Then Isham refers to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Isha Avataraka. Isha Avatara refers to Advaita Acharya, because he is the incarnation of Lord Shiva as well as Vishnu combined form, right? And then Tat Prakasham refers to the first manifestation, which represents the Nityananda Prabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's first expansion is Nityananda Prabhu, just like Krishna's first expansion is Balaram. So Balaram is not different from Nityananda Prabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Krishna. then Tat Prakasham Sa Tat Shakti. Shakti refers to Gadadhar Pandit, right? Gadadhar Pandit is the energy of the Lord, because he is none other than Srimati Radharani herself, right? So, Tat Prakasham Cha Tat Shakti, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Samyakam. In this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Krishna, has appeared in these 5 features. What are the 5 features? One is as the Supreme Lord himself, Isha Bhaktan as Srivas Thakur, as Isha Avatara, that means Advaita Acharya, and then Tat Prakasham, Nityananda Prabhu, Tat Shakti, Gadadhar Pandit. So we always chant the Panchatattva prayers, Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Before every one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we chant one time the Panchatattva mantra, because there is no offense in chanting Panchatattva mantra. Simply by chanting the Panchatattva mantra, we will be in a position, we will be receiving the mercy of Panchatattva, and by their mercy, we will be able to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra without any offense. Right? And in the 7th verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Samarpaitu Manatoj Bhakti Shriyam Hari Purada Sundara Duti Katam Sandipitaha Sada Hriday Kandare Swaratu Baha Shachinandanaha. Right? And then Sada Hriday Kandare Swaratu Baha Shachinandanaha. So in this way, the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it should be Hriday Kandare. Hriday Kandare means it should churn our heart. Right? You should be so absorbed in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra that the Hare Krishna Mahamantra should churn our heart and place Lord Shri Krishna, Radha and Krishna in the cavity of our heart, in the depth of our hearts, right? So in that way, our chanting has to be so much in depth, so that the names of Krishna and Radharani or the names of Gauranga Mahaprabhu actually go into the depths of our heart. Hriday Kandare, Sfuratu, Vaha, Shachi Nandanaha, like that it is described, right? So when we chant Hare Krishna Mantra, we should always think of this, that the holy name should enter into the cavity of my heart, right? I should not be so chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in a superficial way, right? And then in the next verse, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj is describing Nityananda Prabhu. Sankarshanasta Karnataho Shai, Garbodha Shai Cha Payobdi Shai. That means in the next expansion, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is explaining who is this Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu is the same Balaram, right? Krishna to Balaram. And just like in Bhagavatam, there is a verse. Ete chamchaha kalapumshaha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So Krishna, in the purport, Prabhupada says, Krishna is the original one candle, right? And from Krishna, various expansions come about. There is a Purusha Avataras, Leela Avataras, Guna Avataras. All of these expansions come from Krishna. And however, Krishna is the one original candle. Although the other candles are also as bright as the original candle always remains original. And all the other candles become secondary to the original candle, although they may be lighting as bright as that of the original candle. Because the original candle is Avatari. Whereas all the other candles, which are also Vishnu Tattva, who are also the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but who are adopting different moods according to the time, place, and circumstances. Oh, okay. So who are adopting different moods as per the time, place, and circumstances, they are all called avatars, right? But who is the avatari? The avatari is Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? He is the avatari, just like Krishna is the avatari, and all the Vishnu avatars like Rama, Garbhodakasha Vishnu, Shridakasha Vishnu, Karanadakasha Vishnu, okay, Lord Ram, right? They are all amshas, right? That means they are all avatars of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But who is Lord Shri Krishna? Lord Shri Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are only called as avataris. That means they are the original candle from whom the various other avatars emanate, like that. Okay, fine. So, okay, the full significance of his appearance will be explained in the later chapters. Okay, so let's move forward and read this. After offering respects to Lord Chaitanya. Okay, Sudha Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams.
Hare Krishna.
After offering respects to Lord Chaitanya, Krishnadasa Kaviraja begins offering them to Lord Nityananda in the 7th verse of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. The author explains.
Oh, okay, Mataji, we read this. We read this. This candles thing is explained. Go to the next paragraph. When it is necessary, see it.
Okay. When it is necessary to create the material universes, Vishnu expands himself as Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu lies down in the causal ocean and breathes all the universes from his nostrils. Thus, from Mahavishnu and the causal ocean spring all the universes, and all these universes, including ours, flow. I think, Mataji, this is also finished, right?
No, no, no. We have to do this.
No?
Oh, yeah. Vamana we studied
Yes,
now.
Mataji.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't explain this. So it is said that, the Vaman Dev and Bali Maharaj pastime, when actually Lord Vaman Dev is going to, is covering the one step, the entire heavenly planets, one step, all the earthly planets, and one step he places on Bali Maharaj's head. Right? At that time, when he pierces the heavenly planets, at that time, Ganges, who's there in the higher planets, she trickles. That is how the Ganges comes to the earthly planet. That's what is explained here. And this Ganges is only taken by Lord Shiva on his head. And this Vamandev is who? Is the expansion of Lord Vishnu, right? Who comes actually to protect the demigods and to kill the demons like that. So this is to explain that who's the source? Krishna is the source, like the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the source. And then first expansion is Balaram, who's not different from Nityananda Prabhu. And then Prabhupada saying, when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna refers to Krishna and Rama refers to Balaram. So Krishna also refers to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rama addresses to Nityananda Prabhu as well, like that. Okay, yes, Mataji, go ahead. The subject matter of the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
The subject matter of the Chaitanya Charitamrita deals primarily with what is beyond this material creation. The cosmic material expansion is called Maya, illusion, because it has no eternal existence. Because it is sometimes manifested and sometimes not, it is regarded as illusion. But beyond this temporary manifestation is a higher nature, as indicated in the Bhagavad Gita 8.20. परस्तस्मात् भावोऽन्यो व्यक्तो व्यक्तात् सनातनः यः स सर्वेषु भूतेषु नश्यत्सु न विनश्यति. Yet there is another nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Bhagavad Gita 8.20. The material world has a manifested state, Vyakta, and a potential unmanifested state, Avyakta. The supreme nature is beyond both the manifested and the unmanifested material nature. This superior nature can be understood as a living force which is present in the bodies of all living creatures. The body itself is composed of inferior nature, matter, but it is the superior nature that is moving the body. The symptom of that superior nature is consciousness. Thus, in the spiritual world, where everything is composed of the superior nature, everything is conscious. In the material world, there are inanimate objects that are not conscious, but in the spiritual world, nothing is inanimate. There a table is conscious, the land is conscious, the trees are conscious, everything is conscious. It is not
Hare
possible
Krishna.
to. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. This is very interesting, right? Because in this material world, we find so many jada. That means material things which don't have life, right? But in the spiritual world, just like they say, Murdva Moolam Adha Shakam, right? So this material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, everything, whether it's the tree or the plant or the creeper or the ornaments of the Lord, everything that we see here in this material world as jada, actually they are all conscious, they're all living entities, because they all want to serve the Lord, right? There is no jada in the spiritual world, because everything has its own identity and have their own relationship with the supreme personality of Godhead, and all of them have a rasa with the Lord. It could be either dasya rasa, shanta rasa, sakya rasa, vatsalya rasa, or madhurya rasa. But everything and every object and every individual has a consciousness and has a relationship with the supreme personality of Godhead. That's what is mentioned here. Okay, let's move ahead. It is not possible to imagine. Okay, Shobha Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Pranams Mataji, Srila
Hare Krishna,
Prabhupada.
pranams, Mataji.
It is not possible to imagine how far this material manifestation extends. In the material world, everything is calculated by imagination or by some imperfect method. But the Vedic literatures give real information of what lies beyond the material universe. Since it is not possible to obtain information of anything beyond this material nature by experimental means, those who believe only in experimental knowledge may doubt the Vedic conclusions. For such people, cannot even calculate how far this universe extends, nor can they reach far into the universe itself. That which is beyond our power of conception is called achintya, inconceivable. It is useless to argue or speculate about the inconceivable. If something is truly inconceivable, it is not subject to speculation or experimentation. Our energy is limited and our perception is limited. Therefore, we must rely on the Vedic conclusions regarding that subject matter which is inconceivable. Knowledge of the superior nature must simply be accepted without argument. How is it possible to argue about something to which we have no access? The methods for understanding the transcendental subject matter is given by Lord Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna tells Arjuna at the beginning of the fourth chapter, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avyayam vivasvan manave praha manur ikshvakave abhravit. I instruct this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivasvan, and Vivasvan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu is in turn instructed it to Ishwaku. Bhagavad Gita 4.1. This is the method of parampara or disciplic succession. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam explains that Krishna imparted knowledge into the heart of Brahma, the first created being within the universe. Brahma imparted those lessons to his disciple Narada, and Narada imparted that knowledge to his disciples Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva imparted it to Madhvacharya, and from Madhvacharya the knowledge came down to Madhavendra Puri and then to Ishvara Puri, and from him to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One may ask that if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, then why did he need a spiritual master? Of course, he did not need a spiritual master, but because he was playing the role of Acharya, one who teaches by example. He accepted a spiritual master. Even Krishna himself accepted a spiritual master, for that is the system. In this way, the Lord sets the example for men. We should not think, however, that the Lord takes a spiritual master because he is in want of knowledge. He is simply stressing the importance of accepting the disciplic succession. The knowledge of that disciplic succession actually comes from the Lord himself. And if the knowledge descends unbroken, it is perfect. Although we may not be in touch with the original personality who first imparted the knowledge, we may receive the same knowledge through this process of transmission. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that Krishna, the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, transmitted transcendental knowledge into the heart of Brahma. This then is one way knowledge is received, through the heart. Thus, there are two processes by which one may receive knowledge. One depends directly upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated as the super soul within the heart of all living entities, and the other depends upon the Guru or spiritual master, who is an expansion of Krishna. Thus, Krishna transmits information both from within and from without. We simply have to receive it. If knowledge is received in this way, it does not matter whether it's inconceivable or not.
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Do you want me to paste this sloka 4.1 in the whatever Bhagavad Gita sloka we discussed?
No. Mataji, we'll do one a week. We just started now. Then we become too much. One day, one sloka. So we will do maybe we'll give 1 week's time, and then we will incorporate one Bhagavad Gita like that. And maybe we should we will we should, we have not covered 1, 2, 3 also some important shlokas, but we'll see how we'll go about it. Because too much I don't want people should get disheartened and scared. Very bahut sare shlokas karne hain humko, hai na? So what I was saying, so in this one, like Mataji said, right, this is giving again the importance of disciplic succession. Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avyayam vivasvan manave praha manu rikshva kave bravit. Right, but this is the method of understanding transcendental knowledge. Right, how when the knowledge of disciplic succession got broken, Krishna re-gave that knowledge. The knowledge which he once gave to Vivasvan gave to Manu gave to Ikshvaku. The same knowledge now Krishna is giving to Arjuna. right? So in this way, this is the way to attain transcendental knowledge. Otherwise, we were talking the other day, right, of Aroha Pantha and Avaroha Pantha. Aroha Pantha means this is, this cannot be like this, it cannot be like this, 90, 90, 90, like that. That is ascending knowledge. That is based on mental speculation. But we have 4 defects, right? We have the tendency to commit mistakes. We have the tendency to cheat. We have the tendency to, we have imperfect senses, and we have imperfect senses, and what is the other one? We are prone to committing mistakes, and we cheat, right? The 4 mistakes that a living entity is due, like that, right? But that is why the Lord is called Apaurushaya. The Guru is called Apaurushaya, because such a person receives the transcendental knowledge from the Lord and through the Lord in disciplic succession, and transmits the same knowledge. And hence this knowledge that is transmitted also, it becomes a Paurushya. That means it does not become subject to the defects of this material world. In the next paragraph, Prabhupada is going to talk again about the importance of parampara system, right? And then, what we read just now. And also, why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu need a spiritual master? Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Ishwara Puri as a spiritual master, and our what is his name? Krishna himself, right? Krishna himself took a spiritual master, right? He went to Shandipani Muni's ashram, and he learned along with Sudama. We had that pastime, right? Later on, Sudama comes to meet Krishna based on his association with Krishna during the Gurukul. So in this way, Krishna also accepted a spiritual master. So why Krishna is accepting a spiritual master? Not that Krishna does not have knowledge. He has to go to a spiritual master to attain knowledge. No. So here, yad yad acharati shreshtas tat tat eve tarojana. Right? When great people do some things, common people follow that. And that's why Krishna himself took a spiritual master, showing us example that we all need to have a spiritual master in order to actually understand this message of transcendental knowledge, right? Which is begun from Krishna himself. But it has to be understood either from Krishna or through the bona fide disciplic succession, which is started from Krishna himself, right? So in this way, we will end our teachings of Lord Chaitanya here. We will continue this tomorrow, more on the need for a spiritual master. What is the mood in which we should obtain transcendental knowledge? It's a quick recap of actually what we are doing in our 4th chapter also. So it's quite, we are running in parallel actually in terms of tattva. All right. So let's quickly go on to chapter 4. In chapter 4, we saw that verse. I hope all of you recited, at least 3 times, and try to memorize that verse if you've not already memorized it. And it's also good that we study the translation also. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Right? In which the same thing is actually being repeated, what we discussed in teachings of Lord Chaitanya. That this knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead has to be received in a bona fide disciplic succession. And such inquiry has to be done in a humble state of mind, without ahankar, right? One has to render service. One cannot render service if one is under the influence of false ego, right? So one has to render service in a humble spirit, and also inquire submissively. In this way, what happens? One actually understands the transcendental purport of the spiritual knowledge, right? So how do we do it, right? The 2 steps that are given here. What are the 2 steps? The first step is to inquire submissively. What is the second step given? The second step given is to pariprashnena sevaya, right? Inquire submissively and render service, right? Now let's go on to text number 35 of our Bhagavad Gita. Let's go ahead. Okay. Text number 35. Who will read? Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yes, Sindhu Mataji, go ahead. Text number 35.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna Pranams, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Pranams.
Text 35. Okay. Hare Bol Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yajñatva punarmoham.
Yajñatva punarmoham. Evam yashati pandava. Ena bhutani asheshani. Drakshyashi atmani atomayi. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Having obtained real knowledge from a self-realized...
Please read the synonyms.
Yeah. Synonyms, yet, which? Natva, knowing, na, never, puna, again, moham, to illusion, evam, like this, yashashi, you shall go, Pandava, O son of Pandu, ena, by which, bhutani, living entities, Nasheshani, all, Drakshashi, you will see, Atmani, in the Supreme Soul, Atav, or in other words, my in me. Translation, having obtained real knowledge from a self-realized soul, you will never fall again into such illusion. For by this knowledge, you will see that all living beings are but part of the Supreme, or in other words, that they are mine. Purport: the result of receiving knowledge from a self-realized soul, or one who knows things as they are, is learning that all living beings are part and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. The sense of an existence separate from Krishna is called Maya. Ma, not, ya, this. Some think that we have nothing to do with Krishna, that Krishna is only a great historical personality, and that the Absolute is the impersonal Brahman. Factually, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, this impersonal Brahman is the personal effulgence of Krishna. Krishna, as the Supreme Personality of God, is the cause of everything. In the Brahma Samhita, it is clearly stated that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, the cause of all the causes. Even the millions of incarnations are only his different expansions. Similarly, the living entities are also expansions of Krishna. The Mayavadi philosophers wrongly think that Krishna loses his own separate existence in his many expansions. This thought is material in nature. We have experience in the material world that the thing, when fragmentally distributed, loses its own original identity. But the Mayavadi philosophers fail to understand that Absolute means that 1 plus 1 is equal to 1, and that 1 minus 1 is also equal to 1. This is the case in the Absolute world. For want of the sufficient knowledge in the Absolute Science, we are now covered with illusion, and therefore we think that we are separate from Krishna. Although we are separated parts of Krishna, we are nevertheless not different from him. The bodily difference of the living entities is Maya, or not actual fact. We are all meant to satisfy Krishna. By Maya alone, Arjuna thought that the temporary bodily relationship with his kinsman was more important than his eternal spiritual relationship with Krishna. The whole teaching of the Gita is targeted towards this end, that a living being, as Krishna's eternal servitor, cannot be separated from Krishna, and a sense of being and identity apart from Krishna is all Maya. The living entities, as separate part and parcels of the Supreme, have a purpose to fulfill. Having forgotten that purpose since time immemorial, they are situated in different bodies as men, animals, demigods, etc. Such bodily differences arise from forgetfulness of the transcendental service of the Lord. But when one is engaged in transcendental service through Krishna consciousness, one becomes at once liberated from this illusion. One can acquire such pure knowledge only from the bona fide spiritual master, and thereby avoid the delusion that the living entity is equal to Krishna. Perfect knowledge is that the Supreme Soul, Krishna, is the supreme shelter for all living entities, and giving up such shelter, the living entities are deluded by the material energy, imagining themselves to have a separate identity. Thus, under different standards of material identity, they become forgetful of Krishna. When, however, such deluded living beings become situated in Krishna consciousness, it is to be understood that they are on the path of liberation, as confirmed in the Bhagavatam 2.10.6. Muktir hitvan yata rupam swarupena vyavastitihi. Liberation means to be situated in one's constitutional position as an eternal servitor of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So now in this verse, Srila Prabhupada is actually explaining what in the previous verses 4.34, Srila Prabhupada actually explained in the purport about how to attain transcendental knowledge. Right? How do we attain transcendental knowledge? By rendering service to a spiritual master and by inquiring submissively. The next verse, what is the goal of attaining or what is the prayojana? What is the result of taking shelter of a realized soul? What is that? One will never fall again into illusion. Right? Maya means that which is not. Right? This world is temporary. Right? What we the illusions or the attractions of Maya that we find to be so alluring, that is actually not real attraction. That is actually what in Tamil they say, right? Bike suvai, vaitrukku, something they say. What is that? Vaitrukku vinai or something like that. What is tasty for the mouth, that may not be good for the stomach, right? That either we eat too pungent stuff that may cause ulcers, or we might eat too much sweet stuff, which will also cause like diabetes or something like that, right? So what we see as apparently which will give us pleasure may need not give us pleasure in the long run. That is why this Maya is called that which is not, right? What appears to be very attractive and what is likely to give us pleasure actually does not give us pleasure, but is actually binding us to this material world, right? And then what can give us real happiness? This transcendental knowledge can give us real happiness, right? Understanding this transcendental knowledge means Jivera Swarupohe Krishnera Nitya Das, right? I am the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it is my duty to serve the Lord. In this way, when I perform my work, then automatically I am led to the goal or the prayojana, which is liberation. And again, Prabhupada makes a very important reference here from Bhagavatam, saying liberation here does not mean merging with the Brahman, right? Liberation at this particular point, it also means mukti hitvanyatha rupam swarupena vyavastitihi. That means I'm going to engage myself in the service of the Lord in my constitutional position, right? Swarupena vyavastitihi means being situated in my constitutional position. I am going to be engaged in the service of the Lord, and that is actual liberation. Otherwise, the Sayujya, Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya, Sarshti, all those kinds of liberation are again going to bring us back to this material world. Why? Because we are not getting the bliss that we are eternally seeking from this world, from this material world. Also, we are seeking that, right? It's not wrong to seek happiness, but we are seeking it from the wrong place. That is why we are getting bewildered. Okay. Now, let's move on to text number 36. Okay, text number 36. Who will read? Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji, go ahead. Api chet asi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamah sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijinam santarish.
Yes, happy even said if asi you are papebhya of sinners, sarvebhya of all, papakrita tamaha the greatest sinner, sarvam all such sinful reactions, gnana plavena by the boat of transcendental knowledge, eva certainly, vrijinam the ocean of miseries, santarisyasi, you will cross completely, even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners. When you are situated in the boats of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries. Purport, Mataji?
Yes, go ahead.
Scroll it, Mataji. Yes, proper understanding of one's constitutional position in relationship to Krishna is so nice that it can at once lift one from the struggle for existence which goes on in the ocean of nescience. This material world is sometimes regarded as an ocean of nescience and sometimes as a blazing forest. In the ocean, however expert a swimmer one may be, the struggle for existence is very severe. If someone comes forward and lifts the struggling swimmer from the ocean, he is the greatest savior. Perfect knowledge received from the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the path of liberation. Yes. The boat of Krishna consciousness is very simple, but at the same time, the most sublime. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Yeah. So what is it given here? This human body is itself considered to be the best boat to cross over the ocean of material existence. And we have the guidance of the spiritual master who is going to guide us to take us back to Godhead. And the favorable winds are all the Shastras, the association of the Gurus, the association of the association with the scriptures. All those are favorable winds, right? So any person who's having a human body, who is having the potential to go back home, back to Godhead, by properly understanding one's relationship with Krishna, Like in the morning, we always sing Samsara Dava Nalilida Loka Tranaya Karunya Ghana Ghana Tvam Praptasya Kalyana Gunarnavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. So what does the spiritual master do? The spiritual master, just like when there is a blazing forest fire, right? No amount of buckets of water can extinguish that forest fire, right? The rain has to come down and rain has to pour down. Only then the forest fire can be extinguished. Similarly, when our heart is filled with so much of sense gratification, fire of sense gratification, like a blazing forest fire, right? We cannot cross over, right? Both the analogies are given. One is that it is like a burning forest fire, and the other is this is the Bhava Sagar. That means it's an ocean. That's why it's an ocean of material existence, right? So this fire of sense gratification can be completely extinguished only by the mercy of a spiritual master. That's first analogy. Second analogy here is the Bhava Sagar, or the ocean of material existence, can be crossed only by the guidance of the spiritual master, who is said to be the expert captain of this boat. And this boat is the human form of life, right? This boat is a proper suitable boat to cross over the ocean of material existence, but we cannot cross by our own endeavor. We need the mercy of the spiritual master, who is said to be the captain of the ship. Now, I hope everybody understood both the analogies. One is the fire of sense gratification, and the other is the ocean of material existence. Both of which, the mercy of the spiritual master in one place is considered to be the rain that extinguishes material existence, and the other way, spiritual master is considered to be the captain of the ship, of the boat or the ship, which refers to the human body, that enables one to cross over the ocean of material existence, like that. All right, let's quickly move forward. Text number 37. Yes. Okay, who will read? Manimala Mataji, go ahead, and then Karpagavali Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat
Pranam. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yataidamsi samidogner
Jatayadhansi samriddhogni
Smasat kurute Arjuna
Bhasmosat Arjuno Yanagni Sarmo Karmani
Karmani Smasat kurute tatha.
Etha, just as Ethapsmi, firewood, Samriddhi, blazing, Agniya, fire, Bhasmasat turns into ashes, Kurute, so does, Arjuna, O Arjun, Jnana Agni, the fire of knowledge, Sarva Karmani, all reaction to material activities, Bhasmasat, to ashes, Kurute, each so does, Tatha, similarly, purport done by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As the blazing fire turns firewood to ashes, O Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge burn to ashes all reactions to material activities. Perfect knowledge of self and super self and of their relationship is compared herein to fire. This fire not only burns up all reactions to impious activities, but also all reactions to pious activities, turning them to ashes. There are many stages of reaction in the making, reaction fructifying, reaction already achieved, and reaction priori. But knowledge of the constitutional of the living entity burns everything to ashes. When one is in complete knowledge, all reactions priori and posteriori are consumed. In the Vedas, stated, Ubbe Uday Vaiva Ete Tatatre Amrat Sadhva Asadhuni. One overcomes both the pious and impious interactions of work. Haribol Mataji, thank you.
Thank you. Haribol, Hare Krishna. Right? So here, again, the same analogy. Prabhupada is again giving an analogy here. Right? Just like, actually, Krishna is giving the analogy and Prabhupada is explaining it further for us. Right? When firewood is put into proper burning fire, then what happens? Firewood turns to ashes. Otherwise, little firewood cannot burn, especially if the firewood is wet. Right? But a dry firewood, when comes into contact with nice blazing fire, then the firewood completely turns into ashes. Similarly, when our heart is filled with material attachment and material affection in this way, then what can burn our reactions to the material activities? Because when we are materially attached to something, we do anything and everything to actually get. isn't it? Then what happens? We become subject to sinful reactions of the actions that we perform in order to get that particular object with us, right? But what can help us get out of this entanglement of material activities? Doing something, getting the reactions, doing something, getting the reactions. And this reaction also Prabhupada explains: kutam, bijam, papam, right? Falon, mukham. Like that, there are various levels of reactions, right? Some are fructified, some are not yet fructified, some are in the form of a seed, some are in the form of a, some are in the form of a, kutam. That means what? The propensity to commit that sinful activity still lies in our heart. Right? It's called kutam. So in various stages, the sinful reactions are situated in our heart, right? But all of those sinful reactions and the propensity to commit sin, they can all be destroyed. How? By this fire of transcendental knowledge that is received from a bona fide spiritual master. Like that. Okay, text number 38. Okay, Karpavali Mataji, go ahead.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hey Krishna. Nahi jnanena sadrisham.
Nahi nanena sadasham kavitramiha vidyate.
Tatsvayam yoga samsiddhaha.
Tatsvayam yoga samsiddhaha.
Kalena vindati.
Kalenatmini vindati. Never. He certainly. Jnanena with knowledge. Sadarsam in comparison. Pavitram sanctified. Iha in this world. Vidyate exists. That Swayam itself. Yoga devotion. Samsita matured. Kalena in course of time. Atmani in himself. Vindati enjoys. In this world there is nothing so sublime and pure as transcendental knowledge. Such knowledge is a mature fruit of all mysticism, and one who has achieved this enjoys the self within himself and is due course of and in due course of time. Purport. When we speak of transcendental knowledge, we do so in terms of spiritual understanding. As such, there is nothing so sublime and pure as transcendental knowledge. Ignorance is the cause of our bondage, and knowledge is the cause of our liberation. This knowledge is the mature fruit of devotional service, and when one is situated in transcendental knowledge, he need not search for peace elsewhere, for he enjoys peace within himself. In other words, this knowledge and peace are cultivated in Krishna consciousness. That is the last word in the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Very bold. Yeah, I can see you're reading from your book today. Thank you.
Yes,
Hare Krishna.
yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So, okay, so what I was saying here is, there is nothing so sublime and pure as transcendental knowledge, right? My Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Haya Andakar. Jahan Krishna, wahan nahi hai Maya Adhikar. Right? And Krishna also tells in Bhagavad Gita, Teshamevanu Kampartam, Aham Ajnanajam Tamaha. Krishna is saying, I destroy, by lighting the lamp of transcendental knowledge, I destroy the darkness that is there in your heart. Right? Aham ajnanajam tamaha. And what is this knowledge? Prabhupada calls it the mature fruit of devotional service. Right? Otherwise, okay, the mature fruit of devotional service. We were talking about, the other day we were talking about jnana and vijnana. Jnana means knowledge that is there in the head. Vijnana means the application of that knowledge, which is wisdom, which is the intelligence to put into action what we know. Right? And that knowledge, which is the mature fruit of devotional service, is actually vijnana. And when we practice this vijnana, then what happens? This knowledge and peace actually culminates in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, too much jnana in the head leads to more and more anxiety. Because we have more knowledge, we have more ahankar, we want to control things more. The more we want to control things, the more we'll be in anxiety. The more we are surrendering to the Lord, the more we can be peaceful and blissful in Krishna consciousness. All right. Okay, we'll complete 39 and 40. Okay, let me share my screen. Anyone wants to read? Okay, text number 39. Rohini Mataji, go ahead.
After you, Mataji, the shloka.
Shraddha vallabhate jnanam.
Shraddha vallabhati jnanam.
Tatparaha samyatendriyaha.
Tatparaha samyatendriyaha.
Jnanam labdhva param shantim.
Jnanam labdva param shantim.
Achirena digacchati.
Achirena digacchati. Synonym: Shraddhavan, a faithful man. Labhate achieves, Jnanam knowledge, Tatparha very much attached to it, Samyata control, Indriya senses, Jnanam knowledge, Labdhva having achieved, Param transcendental, Shantim peace, Achirena very soon, Adhigachati attains. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses in senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge, and having achieved it, he quickly attains a supreme spiritual peace. Purport. Such knowledge in Krishna consciousness can be achieved by a faithful person who believes firmly in Krishna. One is called a faithful man who thinks that simply by acting in Krishna consciousness, he can attain the highest perfection. This fate is achieved by the discharge of devotional service and by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, which cleanses one's heart of all material dirt. Over and above this, one should control the senses. A person who is faithful to Krishna and who controls the senses can easily attain perfection in the knowledge of Krishna consciousness without delay. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Madhuri. Hare Krishna. So, Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhavamaha Davagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidya Vadu Jivanam. Right? Vidya Vadu Jivanam. That means Vidya comes along as a Vadu. Vadu means, wife. Right? Vidya Vadu Jivanam. So, transcendental knowledge automatically follows a person who actually engages in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. When our heart is cleansed of all the anarthas, transcendental knowledge automatically fills our heart. And this Vidya or this Jnana will follow the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra just like a wife follows the husband, like that. And in this way, one can easily attain perfection of knowledge without any delay. Why? Because when the heart is purified, there is an inclination to perform devotional service. When one continues to perform devotional service, one attains the bliss of Krishna consciousness. Okay, last person who will read. Leelandri Mataji already read. Now Kishori Mataji, go ahead. Text number 40.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Yes.
Agnancha Shraddhadanascha Sanshayatmana Vinashyati Nayam Lokasti Na Paronaha Sukham Parona Sukham Sanshayatmanaha. Mataji, should I read? Okay.
Agnaha.
The fool who has no knowledge is standard in standard scripture. Cha and Ashrada.
Ashraddha. That means
Sure, Mataji. Without faith in the revealed scripture, cha also
Samshaya
of doubts, Atma, person, Vinashyati, fallback, na, never. I am in this lokaha world, asti, there is nor paraha in the next life, not sukham, happiness, samshaya, doubtful, atmanadi, all of the person. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. But ignorance and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scripture do not attain God consciousness. They fall down for the doubting, and there is a happiness neither in this world nor in the next. Purport out of many standards and authoritative revealed scripture, the Bhagavad Gita at the best. Persons who are almost like animals have no faith in or knowledge of the standard revealed scripture, and some, even though they have knowledge of or can cite passages from the revealed scripture, have actually no faith in these words. And even though others may have faith in scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, they do not believe in worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Krishna. Such person cannot have any standing in Krishna consciousness. They fall down out of all the above mentioned persons. those who have no faith and are always doubtful make no progress at all. Man without faith in God and His revealed word find no good in this world, nor in the next. For them, there is no happiness whatsoever. One should therefore follow. One should therefore follow the principles of the revealed scripture with faith, and thereby be raised to the platform of knowledge. Only this knowledge will help one become promoted to the transcendental platform of the spiritual understanding. In other words, a doubtful person have no status whatsoever. In spiritual anticipations, one should therefore follow in the footsteps of the great acharyas who are in the disciplic succession and thereby attain success. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanwad Pranam.
Thank you so much, right? In Hindi, there is a saying, na gar ka, na ghat ka, right? That means you are practicing spiritual life, we are not enjoying all the material things, but at the same time, we are not able to give up the material things also. We are just doing the spiritual practice also mechanically. So some people worry, right? We're not enjoying either the material world, nor even we will get the spiritual world, right? So that is why one should do the practice with faith. That simply by doing this process, I'm going to be landing myself in a better situation, right? This faith in the Bhagavad Gita, faith in Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu, this actually helps one grow in one's spiritual understanding, and understanding through the acharyas coming in the bona fide Guru Parampara, one can attain the real success, which is Krishna Prema. So, what is that? Shastra. Shastra vidhi mutsujya vartate kamakaratah rasa siddhim avapnoti na sukham na parangati. Somebody who doubts the scriptures, somebody who doubts the instructions of the spiritual master, even if he performs those activities, for him there is no happiness either in this world or in the next, because he is doubting, and then whatever he does, he is not having faith, yet he is doing, and then what is it? He will not also get a better destination. Why? Because he is not doing it with proper consciousness. So that is why our movement is International Society for Krishna Consciousness. More than what we do, in what consciousness we do is most important. If you are doing it in the Seva Bhav for the pleasure of the Lord, for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga, then it will yield us to the desired destination, which is Krishna Prema, right? So there are two more verses. We will take it tomorrow, 41 and 42. So Grantraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai, Shla Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So, okay, so if there are any queries or questions, we can take that now. Devotees can switch on your cameras, and we'll just do a 2-minute quick Harinam Sankirtan, and then we'll end our session. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Aschatyaadishatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Jai Shri Radha Madhav Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Gurudev Gurudev Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Kali Kavita Pavan Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। Thy God Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So we have Nilanjani Mataji, and then we have, I'm glad you're able to make it, Mataji. We'll add, it will contribute towards your reading and hearing time, right? And thank you for updating your sadhana chart every day. Thank you. We have Rajneesh Prabhu, Shobha Mataji, Rohini Mataji, Maushmi Mataji, Sneha Prabha Mataji, Ram Kishori Mataji, Sindhu Mataji, Karpagavali Mataji. Karpagavali Mataji also updates her chart very nicely every day. Manimala Mataji, Sudha Mataji, Yelanandini Mataji, Manasi Mataji, Deval Mataji, Nagvini Mataji, COVID Ve Kole. My God. Okay. Who's this? Okay. So I know devotees can give us a darshan if possible. You know, very interesting names. Hare Krishna. Okay. Leelanandini Mataji is giving our darshan. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Mataji joined us after a long time. I believe having cold, na? Leelanandini Mataji's voice was very different today. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, Mataji. Okay, I'll connect with you on the WhatsApp. Okay, Hare Krishna. Anyone has any queries or questions? You may raise your hand. Otherwise, we'll end our session now. All right. Thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And please mark a thumbs up if you are able to, if you are studying the verse and by hearting the verse, especially if you have not done it already. Yeah.